This is question number 11 from the 1.8 MyLab Math homework on Venn diagrams. And in this problem, we're told a survey was given to elementary school students asking if they like apples. And the information from the survey was translated into a two-way table. And then we're having to fill in the missing numbers and translate that information into a Venn diagram. So the students were asked, do you like apples? And the students either answered, yes, I like apples, or no, I don't like apples. And then the students were also asked their gender. Now, the textbook assumes that gender is binary here, that you can either be a boy or a girl. So once we have the information in this table, we need to translate it to a Venn diagram. So to do that, you take the gender question, either boys or girls, and you just pick one. So the textbook picked boys, so everyone in this first circle is identifying as a boy. And then for the second question, apples, they like apples or they don't, you just pick one. And the textbook picked likes apples. So everyone in this circle likes apples. Now notice you don't see the word girls anywhere in the Venn diagram because they're assuming gender is binary. So if they label the first circle boys, then that means anyone not in that circle is assumed to be a girl. And if they label the second circle apples, it's assumed anyone outside of that circle does not like apples. So you don't see the words don't like apples anywhere. You just assume that. Okay, so once you get those numbers filled in your table, we need to go translate the numbers into the Venn diagram. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start here with the region R3 because that's usually the easiest for students because it's the overlap of both circles. So we can see that students in R3 are boys who like apples. So I'll locate boys who like apples. The intersection of boys who like apples are these 14 students right here in my table. Okay, so I'm going to record 14 there in the intersection. Now let's talk about R2. This section right here, R2. What do I know about R2? Well, they're in the boys circle. So R2 represents boys, but they're not in the apple circle. So R2 represents boys that don't like apples. So I'm going to come find that in my table. Well, they're boys, so they need to be in this first row, and they don't like apples. So it's those 9 students. So I'll record the number 9 there for section R2. Okay, now let's talk about R4. What do I know about R4? Well, R4 is in the apple circle, and everyone in the apple circle likes apples. So students in R4 like apples, but they are not in the boys circle, so they're not boys. So we know they like apples, and we know they're not boys, and since they're assuming gender is binary, that means they're girls that like apples. So I'm going to come to my second row, that's all my girls, and then I want the girls who like apples. That's these 6 girls right here. So I'll record a 6 here in my Venn diagram. There's 6 girls who like apples. Then we have one more region out here, R1. So what do we know about the students in R1? Well, they're not in the boys circle, so they're not boys, and they're not in the apple circle, so they don't like apples. So R1 must be girls who don't like apples. So I'll look in my second row, that's all my girls, but I want the ones that don't like apples, so there's 7. There's 7 girls who don't like apples, so I'd record a 7 out there. And just a quick note, only the 4 numbers inside the two-way table get translated into the Venn diagram. The totals never go into the Venn diagram. Only those 4 interior numbers. Okay, so when you do number 11 in your My Math Lab homework assignment, your numbers will be different, but the thought process will be the same. So if you give your problem a try and you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me.